You know, I should probably come up with a better way to start these off other than immediately pressing record when the game all of a sudden goes into the loading menu. Anyway, my name is Strike Alpha, and I am here today casting my friend Badeed's game. It's been a long time since I've had a chance to follow one of his games as he goes through it, and I'm super excited to be casting this all for you today. Before I go anywhere into anything involving the matchup, just keep in mind this is going to be a higher ranked game. One of the things that I used to enjoy about the old client is the fact that you could always spectate higher ranked games, and Badeed is one of the best players I know, and it also is reflected in where he is on the leaderboard. So with that being said, be ready for a treat because this is going to be a good match. Now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. We got blue team running Garen, Kha'Zix, Akali, Heimerdinger, and Nautilus versus Anar, Hecarim, Camille, Lucian, and Lux. Really liking these team comps so far because both teams actually do have access to quite a few different play styles and win conditions, in my opinion. Between the team fighting conditions that are given to both teams through... Okay, hold on one second. Let's see if this is going to load. And it looks like we still have the same spectator bug, so let's just go ahead and reload this game real quick. Sorry again about that. It's little stuff that I got to figure out, and once I figure it out, the presentation will be that much more clear. But for right now, again, we're going to reload this. We'll be a few seconds behind the actual start of the game, but at the same time, I'm hoping that nothing's going to happen. There's a high chance that something will, because every time I say that, there's always like 2 or 3 kills within the first minute of the game. So hopefully things will be all right. But yeah, both teams have team fighting conditions. Both teams have pick conditions. There's quite a bit of cool stuff going on in terms of these team comps. At least that's how I kind of feel. Just looking at the blue team starting off, like I said, they have the team fighting capacity thanks to Garen and Nautilus and Heimerdinger. They also have the pick capacity through Kha'Zix, Akali, and a little bit of Nautilus and a little bit of Garen. So there's a lot of different things going on with the blue team. The same thing can be said of the red team as well. They have the Gnar, the Hecarim, acting as the tankier or damagier front line. Camille will be there as well. Lux is going to be doing mid and back line, with Lucian kind of going in between front and mid line. And in terms of picks, I don't know if any of you have watched my friend Badeed play, but he tends to do some pretty off-the-wall things with this Hecarim, and he essentially gets his own picks as he goes through. It's going to be really easy for that Lux to also set up some of those in the future. And here we go. We got the first gank coming through. Hecarim coming through on this Akali, and there's the first blood. Just that fast before the 2-minute mark. I'm so glad we got back into this game as soon as we possibly could. But yeah, it's stuff like that. Like, even champions that you don't necessarily think have the potential to pick people, these guys know how to run it, and that's why I'm like super excited to see how these two teams mesh together in this matchup. So moving on, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about these matchups in the individual lanes. You got Garen up top going against this Gnar. Gnar is going to be really good in terms of, we got a little bit of a fight here. Akali taking quite a bit of damage from that Camille, but a little bit of poke, and now they're going back to farming. But yeah, the matchup between Gnar and Garen, that's going to be pretty even for the most part. Gnar is going to have the disadvantage, or Gnar is going to be able to attack and poke from range until he transforms. When he transforms, then it's going to pretty much be a one-on-one fight between the two of them. I think that Gnar should be able to win that fight. especially before level 6, but after level 6, I think Garen might have a slight bit of an advantage just because of his judgment execute ability. Meanwhile, here we go. We got Kha'Zix coming up top. We got that Ignite going down, and that's a kill for Kha'Zix. Meanwhile, in bot, we got a lot of stuff going on here. Lux landing that foot binding, and Lucian coming in and getting the kill on that Heimerdinger. Hecarim was there, got there a little too late to actually get an assist, but just having him there was more than enough. Meanwhile, Camille and Akali are going at it. Camille and Akali are both trying to fight each other off, but I think there might have been a mistake here because there's the Hecarim coming through with the kill. Camille barely getting off past that last tick of the Ignite. And Akali is definitely not feeling the fact that Hecarim essentially has her number. Meanwhile, in bot, Nautilus landing that dredge line. Looks like this should be the end of Lux. She's taking quite a bit of damage, but Lucian is keeping that damage on the Hecarim, but he might have bit off a little more than he can chew. Now, as a result, Heimerdinger is going to get that double kill thanks to the Nautilus assist. Alright, so going on to this next matchup, both Kha'Zix and Hecarim, you know, I always say when I talk about jungle matchups, you kind of look at the potential of them being able to affect other lanes and affect other people's playing style. At this point, I don't really need to worry about that because I know both of these guys definitely know what they're doing. That being said, Hecarim already is, like, as soon as he got level 2, he was already going in on the gank. So as long as Hecarim builds a little tanky, builds a little more damage, he should be in a pretty decent position to, like I said, offer both the pick and the team fighting capacity that Red Team is going to need in terms of having a diverse way to go about winning this competition or winning this match. And while Akali is going after this Camille, she's going in and out of her shroud. I'm going to say kind of keeping that expanding and keeping that timer going. But now that she is out, we're going to go ahead and see those two kind of go back to farming pretty carefully. But yeah. So Hecarim just went back, got a little bit more damage, also got a Sheen, so that's going to be pretty interesting to see what he plans on doing with that. The Kha'Zix, on the other hand, also went back. He has his jungle item as well, and we're going to see if, once Kha'Zix hits level 6, when he's going to start deciding to try and go for these picks, because he's already been a little bit active. Oh, and we got a dredge line by the Nautilus. This should be the end of Lux, but it's not going to be enough. And here comes the Hecarim going after this Kha'Zix. Camille's going in and missed that line, but able to get out. But Garen is here, and Akali is also there as well. Can Camille make it out? She gets queued, and that is going to be the end of Camille, thanks to the Garen. Meanwhile, I think this might not be a good sign for Heimerdinger. He goes ahead, gets burst down after, again, another Lux foot binding. Definitely not. Wait, that is called the foot bind, right? I know that is the symbol. Light binding. Ooh, okay. Well, here comes the... That actually makes a lot more sense. But anyway, Nautilus trying to come in, get this pick on the Lux. He is able to do that, but will Lucian be able to get that kill? That's the next question. He flashes ahead. He should be able to get him, and he does get him after a few auto attacks. Meanwhile, we got Gnar coming through. This is definitely not a good sign for this Garen. We got the Judgment coming through, and as a result, Garen is going to be able to get the kill on the Gnar, but Gnar is also going to be able to get the kill on Garen thanks to the assist from Hecarim. But yeah, all right, so moving forward, let's talk about this mid lane matchup. We got the new Akali fighting against a Camille. So far, this matchup has been pretty interesting, with Camille being able to kind of go in whenever she wants, but Akali being able to get out as much as she wants as well. And we got a fight going on in mid. Akali taking advantage of her shroud. Let's say Definitely not something fun to play against when you know you want to actually start a fight with somebody or start a fight with Akali. It's almost like her get out of free card or get out of jail free card. So Camille has got to play a little bit smarter in terms of how she wants to address her. And we got Hecarim waiting in the shroud with Akali, and there we go. And the ult comes down. Is that going to be it? And it is going to be it. Can Hecarim make it out as a result of this? He's running, he's running, he's running. Minions are trying to stop him, and that is going to be a kill for the Garen. Camille needs to get out of there as soon as possible with both Kha'Zix and Garen going after. That could have turned that into a really quick kill for one of those two. But yeah, Camille's going to have to play smart to kind of bait out that shroud in order to actually be able to go all in on Akali. Meanwhile, Akali pretty much, like, personally, I haven't played Akali yet. I'm going to have to start doing that just to make sure I have a pretty decent opinion as to how things are actually working out with her. But under my impression, she has the capacity to essentially start a fight and kind of back off a little bit. Rather than being all in, she has a lot more poke potential just because she's going to be doing a lot more work. Oop, and the ult comes through from the Garen after the flash in, and that's going to be a dead Gnar. Meanwhile, you got Akali. We got all these fights going on here. We got one kill going down. Cullen finally going down on this Akali. Nautilus trying to fight, but he's going to go down to the Hecarim. Meanwhile, Akali is kind of stuck there. She might be able to make it out, but Hecarim goes in, dives through, gets that kill. Camille flashes across the Dragon Pit wall to try and make it out of that fight with Hecarim, and now Hecarim is going to be all by himself with 4 members of the red team waiting for him to start this fight. This is definitely not a good situation for this Hecarim. I'm going to say Lucian going ahead and doing relentless pursuit, taking quite a bit of damage from these minions. They got to push these minions up before Nautilus gets here, otherwise it might be a little more interesting trying to get this kill. And the ult comes through from the Camille. That probably wasn't the best move. Heimerdinger able to go ahead and use his stopwatch to kind of bait the Camille out and get her taken down. Meanwhile, up top, looks like Gnar is going to get that first kill, or first tower blood, and in bot, Lux is going to get the Lux laser to go ahead and take down that Heimerdinger. Like, so much stuff going on. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about that bot lane matchup and then go straight into kind of the summary in terms of like what's going on in this game so far. The bot lane matchup, you got Heimerdinger and Nautilus versus Lucian and Lux. Looks like Garen is going to be going for that Rift Herald, and maybe Camille might not have wanted to hook line in there. Nautilus gets that kill. But yeah, so Heimerdinger and Nautilus is going to be with the invention, or with the kind of breakdown of the marksman, some different lane organizations have been set up. If I was going to call the Heimerdinger Nautilus lane set up something, it wouldn't be poke and it wouldn't just be kill. I would definitely call it a defensive composition. I know you could call it a combination of a few different things, but I definitely feel like defense is probably a better way to describe it, just because Heimerdinger has the capacity to essentially own land. And here comes Hecarim with the burst again. Not even no chance of Heimerdinger getting out of that. Oh man. But yeah, like, they're gonna get their biggest advantage out of playing defensively. Meanwhile, we got Camille going after this Kha'Zix. She should be able to get the kill, and she is able to do so. Meanwhile, up top, Garen and Akali are going to go ahead and take that top tower, top outer tower, and that. But yeah, so with Heimerdinger and Nautilus playing defensive, there's going to have to be an aggressive and kind of there's going to have to be designation between aggressive type lanes too. So considering Lucian and Lux kind of want to go in on people all the time, I'd have to call that an aggressive poke lane. Aggressive poke lane definitely should be able to whittle down those defenses as much as they possibly can. And In terms of trying to kill, that might depend on the strength of the defense. The defense is pretty strong, but we've been seeing that this isn't necessarily too big of an issue for Lux and Lucian to be able to kind of get those kills in that lane. Meanwhile, Camille comes through. She goes ahead, ults. We got the ult coming from the Nautilus, but Nautilus is going to be the only one to make it out of that, as Akali and Garen both go down to both Hecarim and Camille. Oh, and Nautilus isn't going to be able to make it back. That might not be a good move on his part. He almost got out of there, but he gets burst down by the Camille, Lucian, and Lux, and that is going to be the end of them. Ooh. Anyway, oh, and Gnar coming through, slamming. We got a stopwatch coming through, but it's not going to be enough. Looks like this might not be good for... Oh, and the Lux laser. And Gnar gets taken down by Akali on the back end. Meanwhile, we got Camille probably... Oh, she just barely made it out. Meanwhile, Hecarim is able to take that Cloud Drake, definitely helping his team in terms of their poke potential. Like, oh, and the Nautilus save. But that's not gonna... Oh, and the Garen Flash ends up saving him from the Lucian. And so Lucian trying to go after Nautilus, but he backs out just in time to make sure he doesn't get hit by the Rocket Barrage from Heimerdinger. So, we are almost 15 minutes into this match. Let's do a quick summary of what's going on so far. We got the red team up almost 4K gold right now, 28.3K to 24.2K gold. Red team is going to be up 5 kills, 1 dragon, and 3 towers to no dragons and 1 tower for the blue team. Rift Herald is going to be summoned in mid, so I'm assuming that's where the blue team is going to go ahead and try and push out a little bit. But with Hecarim and Camille both coming in at the same time, I don't know if this is good for them, but that is not looking great. Camille gets taken down by the Garen after the red team decides to back off a little bit. Gonna say not much they could do about that. Lux unable to survive that whole push in mid as well. Looks like blue team might potentially be able to take 2 towers out of this whole situation. Oh, the hook, the dredge line catches the Lucian. Lucian trying to go after this Nautilus. He is able to go after him, and he is able to get that kill as smoothly as possible. Meanwhile, Hecarim's coming through with his ult. Gonna say this should be pretty smooth. It is smooth for the Hecarim. He gets that quick and easy kill. Meanwhile, this isn't great. Kha'Zix is trying to come in, and oh man, he almost got that. That was very smooth. Meanwhile, Lux almost gets that kill on this Kha'Zix, able to dodge out that Lux laser. Meanwhile, Garen looks like he's trying to come in for the flank. Lux needs to be very careful because once she goes in too far, that's going to be pretty much it. She's by herself. Garen coming through, whirling death, and that is going to be the end of Lux. Meanwhile, in bot, Akali is going to be pushing out the best she possibly can. Right now, she's 1-5-3, and she's just trying to do her part to try and stay relevant throughout this competition. Meanwhile, Camille might have also picked a bad spot. She gets hook lined by the Nautilus. She flashes over that wall. She should be able to make it out, but that's not necessarily a given. She's trying to move. She has a Cloud Dragon passive going, so she might be able to make it out, and it does look like she will be able to do so. Whew. But anyway, so yeah, looking at some of this gold right now, looks like we got a little bit of an advantage in top. Pretty decent advantage in jungle, and here we go. We got another fight going on. Hecarim going through, got the Cullen going down. Gonna say the bouncing grenades coming through for Heimerdinger, but that's not going to be enough. Lucian's going to get that kill on this Nautilus with Hecarim's assist. Meanwhile, we got the Lux doing the Lux laser dance, and is that going to be the end of Akali? No, it doesn't look like it will be. Lucian tried to dash in and get that kill, but it's not going to happen. And so it's only a matter of time before the next objective goes down. Both teams are playing pretty aggressive right now. Let me say, meanwhile. So yeah, anyway, going back to kind of looking at what's going on so far. Akali has a little bit of an advantage over Camille. Quite a bit of CS advantage. Oh, and here we go. We got another fight in mid a little bit. Garen comes through trying to clear out these minions and is able to save out that mid inner tower. Anyway, even though, like I said, Camille has the kill advantage and the assist advantage, she currently does not have the CS advantage. And that's definitely starting to show right now, because the more Akali kind of makes things work out, the worse things are probably going to be for the red team moving forward. Meanwhile, Garen might have bitten off a little more than he can chew. He's trying to whirlwind out of this, but Hecarim is right on top of him. Nar's doing his part, and now that is another kill for this Hecarim. Meanwhile, it looks like Hecarim may have caught a bad situation, but he goes ahead, ults, does that, what is that, Spectral Charge? Let me check to make sure that is the name of that attack. Onslaught of Shadows. Spectral Charge is not an actual, oh wait, it changed people, whatever. Onslaught of Shadows. Gotcha. He uses the Onslaught of Shadows to get out of that. Meanwhile, it looks like Gnar might be getting ready to die here. If he's not able to cast an ability, he is unable to, and he unfortunately gets blown up by. Whoa, and we got a lot coming through here. Kha'Zix and Akali getting that kill on both carries of the red team. I'm say definitely not good for the red team, losing that many members right then and there. However, it's still a little bit in the red team's advantage. Oh, Camille needs to get out of there as soon as she possibly can. Like the entire Heimerdinger, Nautilus, and Akali are all on her. She is going to be able to do that. But anyway, Lucian's going to have a little bit of an advantage over this Heimerdinger based off towers and whatnot. That's the other part too. Camille doesn't necessarily... She has more kills, more assists, and more towers, but she's currently down in gold. She's going to have to catch up in terms of gold in order to make the make things a little more balanced. So we'll see if she's going to be able to actually pull that off. Meanwhile, we got Lux landing a bunch of hits, and that should be the end of Akali. They baited out that shadow, or baited out the smoke screen, but that is it. Meanwhile, Hecarim's doing his part, kind of beating these guys senseless, but he's unfortunately going to go down at some point as well. Meanwhile, Kha'Zix is jumping out, running for his life right now. He's not in a great position. He got caught out by minions. They know where he is. Lucian dashes across that wall, and now he's going to go ahead and throw down that culling and get the kill on Kha'Zix. Let me say, so much going on. But anyway, looks like there is going to be a problem in terms of dealing with this Garen. Currently 7-3-1, able to pretty much fight this Gnar whenever he comes across him. Gnar's going to have to do a little bit of work in terms of catching up if he plans on trying to fight off Garen whenever he wants to try and do a split pushing thing. Oh, and nice root, or nice light binding by the Lux, but this pretty much is going to be the end of her. Garen flashes through and silences her to make sure she can flash away and gets that kill. So, in terms of what's going on right now, I'd say that someone probably should be going for this dragon at in this next part of this game. We got Akali going in, and this might not be great for her. She goes ahead, throws down that smoke screen. Someone goes ahead and uses that redemption, but it might have been a little too late. There goes the kill. Goes on Gnar. Gnar doing his part, and now Lucian coming through with culling again to get another kill on this Kha'Zix. I think red team might be getting ready to move towards getting this dragon. So we'll have to see whether or not blue team wants to choose to react to this, or if they just want to kind of deal with it. But we got Heimerdinger getting left out by him lonesome, and that is going to be the end of him. Meanwhile, Nautilus is going to fight Camille with Garen. Not necessarily looking all that great, but Lux doesn't care. She goes ahead, throws down that final light, and gets that kill on Nautilus. Meanwhile, in bot, it looks like Garen is going to be trying to stop this Gnar from taking this bottom inner tower. And he is going to be successful in that endeavor, but it looks like the red team is going to be taking their second dragon of this match. It's going to be an Ocean. So definitely going to be super useful for red team moving forward, considering the little bit of poke that the blue team currently has. Meanwhile, we got Camille trying her best to fight off this Akali, and there, and the onslaught of shadows is like he knew that that's where he was gonna go. That was perfectly timed and perfectly distanced to catch him with the fear at the end of that attack. Not really sure. Ooh, man. But anyway, now that that second dragon has gone down for the red team, it looks like both teams are going to start having to eye their way towards Baron. Right now, blue team probably could benefit the most from it, as it would definitely help them close the little bit of gap that has occurred between the blue and red teams. However, it would definitely build up the red team's advantage in terms of the game as it is right now so far. I wouldn't necessarily say that they could win if they get this Baron, but at the same time, they could definitely put themselves in a pretty strong position in terms of that. And wow, so much damage went down on the Camille. Got the Akali flashing the wall and getting that kill on Camille. Meanwhile, Hecarim is behind enemy lines. I'm not really sure if this is a great move. He gets jumped on by almost the entire blue team. I'm gonna say, but I think Hecarim's definitely had the right idea in terms of doing that. If he was able to pick off maybe one or two of the backline blue team members, that could have led to pretty straightforward team fight. But it looks like because he goes ahead and goes down, it looks like the blue team is gonna be going for this Baron. However, I gotta question whether or not they're gonna completely get it. And that's an ult from the Garen. Judgment going down on Gnar and getting that kill. Meanwhile, like I said, I'm not 100% sure if almost got a kill for that Heimerdinger with the missile snipe. Whoa, that was so close. Meanwhile, Camille going through, she's trying to pick off these blue team members as they're running for their lives. We got Heimerdinger going down, we got Akali going down, we got Kha'Zix running for his life. I'm gonna say, I don't think Camille's gonna be able to catch him, especially with this Garen in the way. Garen gonna be hunting down or using Camille as a villain, so true damage is gonna be coming through. Meanwhile, Hecarim's coming through trying to stop this Kha'Zix, and he was able to land the onslaught of shadows. And he does go ahead and get that. He gets the kill. Oh man. I said Garen was able to kind of follow up, but man, when Hecarim wants to get these kills, Hecarim wants to get these kills. We're saying finally the red team's going to be able to go ahead and take down that mid-inhib turret. Lucian's getting chased out by the Garen. I don't know if he's going to be able to make it out. He's taking quite a bit of damage. He ends up missing the culling, and now you got Judgment coming through, and that's the end of Lucian. It looks like Lucian isn't necessarily sure what happened there, because now everyone's saying Meanwhile, Gnar still is not necessarily in a good position because he's getting burst out by pretty much everyone on the blue team, and that is going to be the end of him too, or him as well. Gnar going down in this situation. Now it looks like red team is going to be on a little bit of the defense. And they should be able to successfully defend that mid inner tower this time. Looks like Akali, though, she's going to be attempting to try and push out bottom. Hecarim is there. She realizes that might not be the best move to just kind of do that there, so she kind of goes a little bit further back into blue team territory before she makes that decision to be. Alright, so how much time is left on this Baron? Doesn't look like there's much time. Looks like Garen is going to get caught out. I don't think he's going to be able to make it out of this situation. Well, apparently he is, but Nautilus was essentially traded for his freedom, which isn't necessarily all that bad considering he's the only one who might have a Baron buff at this point. Meanwhile, Nard, recognizing he's not in a great position, goes ahead and waits for Hecarim to come through and get that kill. Man, Camille. Alright, Camille was there to help Hecarim get that kill, so now things are starting to get a little more interesting. It looks like Akali is going to get a quick burst out. She is going to kind of chill out a little bit. Now Akali is running for her life. She should be able to get out though, but then again, we got a... That was so fast. Okay, so if you're looking at this chat right now, before I started the game, I typically ask people whether or not they're all right with me recording them. He said, okay, go for it. And then he proceeded to ask me how many kills he should get. His target was 15. So he's currently at 14-8. I don't know if he's planning on just completely winning the game after he gets his 15 kills, but that is what is going on here. If he is going to be able... Oh, and Lux gets the kill on Garen. That was almost the 15th one, but I'm going to say it was still a good play for the red team. They got pretty much the biggest tank for the blue team out of the way to make things so much easier for them moving forward. Meanwhile, we got Camille starting to fight with this Heimerdinger. I think she pretty much lost it after he went ahead and Zanya'd. Meanwhile, Lux is dealing with this. Kha'Zix and everything kind of froze for a second, but Lucian's going to go ahead and get that kill. Meanwhile, Camille is there to help fight off this Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is going to jump out of that whole situation, and now Kha'Zix is going to go down thanks to the pursuit of Camille and Lucian and the assist of Lux. So yeah, we'll see if badeed is going to be able to get that last kill. The way things have been going, and he just sends me a message saying as requested, that definitely means that red team definitely is going to get that 15th kill for badeed. I don't know how this game is going to end, but it happened, so so yeah, we'll see in a second how this game decides to play out. Right now, red team has a pretty significant advantage over the blue team right now. What is this? 6K isn't necessarily anything to sneeze at. Oh, and here we go. We got Hecarim coming through, and he goes ahead. Lux throwing down that shield. Hecarim going after this Garen. He's trying as much as he possibly can to get out. Lucian is here now, and this might be it. And the 15th kill comes through for the Hecarim, for badeed. And now it looks like we got a big fight going on here. We got red team going for this third dragon, and Camille going for this bot or top tower. She goes ahead, gets that kill on Akali. They should actually be able to break open the blue team base with this. Oh, and the Zanyas comes through again to save the Heimerdinger, but it won't be enough as Lucian moves in and gets that quick kill on that Heimerdinger. Meanwhile, Hecarim's still going after. Oh, they surrendered. All right, then. Well, that was, like I said, I knew this was going to be an exciting game, and it definitely turned out to be exactly just that. Hecarim starting off the game, getting first blood at less than 2 minutes through after clearing that first camp. kind of set the tone for this matchup and helped lead the red team to victory. That was, like I said, I wish I could watch more high-level games like that, just because those are the types of games that get you excited about playing League, at least in my opinion. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Again, I want to thank my friend Badeed for allowing me to cast this game. Always excited to see his work as he goes through his matches. And again, if you want to be showcased on, if you want to have a Shoutcast or Shoutcaster for any of your games, just hit me up on League. Again, my name is Strike Alpha. So just send a message, add me as a friend, and we'll get something on and going. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. You all have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you all next time.